celebrating the hard work and determination of our area athletes. This is The Score on WQAD News 8.
Good evening and welcome to The Score Sunday. The calendar has now flipped to October, which means postseason is right around the corner for many local sports teams. Coming up tonight, the Wilton volleyball team continues to roll right along in the Rivers Valley Conference, beating longtime rival West Liberty this past week. North Scott football stays undefeated on the regular season with a road victory over Burlington. We talk with the Lancers about their season. And in our FCA Story of the Week, we get caught up with Colton Quagliano and how he is doing at the next level. And Bureau Valley football remembers one of their own. We start tonight with the Wilton football team. Volleyball team, the Beavers just beat West Liberty to remain atop the River Valley Conference with a 3-1 win over West Liberty.
We are now joined by 4 members of the Wilton volleyball team. We have Carly Puffer, Kelsey Drake, Ella Caffrey, and Alexa Garvin. Ladies, first of all, congratulations on the season to this point. I know it's just about over as far as the regular season goes, but you're off to a 23-1 start to the season. And Ella, I'll just start with you. Knowing the success that this team has had, were you surprised by the way this team has played this year?
No, I'm not surprised. I think we do good work in the off season, and we have just been building these past 3 years, and this is exactly how the season was supposed to go for us.
Alexa, you guys are very senior dominant. A lot of you ladies have been on the floor for the past 3, sometimes even 4 years. Is that what makes this team so good? The experience and just the ability that you guys have had to play together over the last 4 years?
Honestly, yeah, I would have to say that really helps, especially with like the chemistry part. I mean, we've been playing together longer than 4 years, ever since we were younger, doing youth volleyball and stuff. So I think that's really helped to build a lot of chemistry between us, and I think that's what helps us win and succeed.
Carly, you guys have a lot of weapons offensively. You're one of the hitters. Does it make it hard for other teams to try to figure out the scheme and the plays you're running, knowing that at any given time anybody can take that set and hammer it home?
Yeah, that's why I think we're so successful, is because everybody's a weapon and everybody's a threat on the floor, and they never know where the ball's going to get set to. So I feel like that's one of our biggest strengths.
Well, Kelsey, just talk about your perspective from this team. With the weapons, with, I guess, the experience, with the play that you have, what do you think makes this team so good?
I just think it's great because teams aren't used to our fast tempo that we run. So Ella does a good job pulling the blocks, and our hitters I'm confident in whoever gets the ball.
Well, you're coming off a big win on Thursday. Ella, kind of talk to me about the motivation going into that game, knowing that West Liberty was undefeated up to that point. You guys had 1 loss. You're both state-ranked teams. It was their pink out for cancer. There was a lot that went into that game. Were the emotions pretty high for you ladies as you were getting ready for that game?
We knew that it was going to be a very packed gym and a great environment to play in, and we just had to settle our emotions down to play how we usually play and just soak in all the energy that everyone else in the gym was giving us. And I think that we were able to just play how we play, and that's what gave us that win.
Alexa, was it a fun environment? Were you able to enjoy it a little bit?
Oh yeah, I think we all enjoyed it a lot, especially with our student section. They were really good that night. They were pretty loud, which gave us a lot of energy, and our bench really helps that. And then with all the people, there was nowhere to sit. The gym was so packed, and I think we fed off their energy that they gave us.
Carly, what do you think worked well against West Liberty? I know last year you beat them again this year. What is it about that game that you guys just seem to raise your level of play a little bit more?
Well, first off, I think our service team was pretty strong, so therefore we were able to set all of our hitters and put away the ball. But our biggest thing going into the game was aggression. We had to be aggressive on every single thing, or we had to find open holes in the court. So we just went in knowing that we got to play to our full potential to win this game.
Kelsey, when you're playing a team like that, that's also state ranked, does it motivate you ladies a little bit more to not only just elevate your game, but kind of prove that even though they may be a class higher or whatever, that you guys are one of the best teams in the state still?
I think it helps with our energy, like knowing we're playing a better team. It helps us play to our best potential. And I just think we're always a lot more excited and confident when we get to play those higher teams.
Sure. Ella, you guys everybody on the team kind of has a role, obviously, from the six that are on the court to the ladies that are on the bench. And I kind of want to talk about them a little bit and what they mean to this team. They may not get the limelight that some of you ladies get, but they're just as important to what this team does on the court and the success you have, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very important, and they're very good at having a lot of energy. And even when we come into huddles for timeouts or in between sets, they're always talking to us, telling us what's open, cheering us on, just telling us good job. And I think that they're engaged in the game helps us like appreciate them, and they do a lot for us.
Alexa, do you feel like they push you guys, the starters, really well and kind of prepare you for each match that you're getting ready for?
Yeah, I would say that they do. They usually like hype us up before the games and like tell us everything that we need to know. And throughout the games, they're always having our back, telling us what's open, like Ella said, and just bringing the excitement, which really helps us dominate.
Carly, they seem to have a lot of fun over there. Do you guys see that and some of the cheers and the things that they do? And does that help you guys at all on the court?
I mean, we see them sometimes, not all the time, mostly because we're coming in from the huddle, but we know what they do, and we've been known to have like a pretty good bench that are always fun and exciting to watch. So yeah, I feel like it brings a lot more energy to the game.
Do you ladies think that you'd be as successful, Kelsey, if you didn't have a bench as good as you do over there?
I mean, they definitely like help with it. I mean, we've never had a bad bench, so I don't really know how them.
Yeah, I don't think we would be as like good because it wouldn't be as fun. Because
Yeah.
playing, you have to like have fun.
And they're not just good at cheering, like they're
Yeah.
good. So in practice, they really push us.
Yeah.
And there's days where the games between varsity and JV are very close.
Sure. Well, you guys have been to state 3 years in a row now. Is that the end goal here? And I'll have all of you kind of end with this question here. Alexa, we'll start with you. Is that kind of the end goal, get back to state and just kind of see where this team can finish and the biggest trophy you can bring home this year?
Yeah, I think that's our biggest goal is to get back to state, but we've really thought about state a lot, but now we're focused on like the small picture and the big picture. Like we want to focus on the small teams and like the teams that are like not state ranked. We still need to focus on them, but our biggest goal is definitely to get back to the state tournament, but also do better than last year and hopefully take home first place.
Yeah, I think our end goal would be a state championship.
Yeah.
But right now we do focus on small picture, like Alexa said, because there's teams that we're going to have to beat to get back to state that might not be listed as the best team in the state, but they're still an obstacle in the road to get there.
Well, ladies, congratulations to the year to this point, 23-1, ranked number 2 in Class 2A. Good luck the rest of the year, and hopefully we do see you at the state tournament and bringing off that big trophy at the end of the year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Time for our first break. Up next, Lancers leading the way. After their first state championship in school history, the North Scott football team is showing no signs of letting up this year. The Lancers are coming up next.
The Score continues on WQAD News 8.
North Scott football is perfect on the season through 6 games. The Lancers' most recent victory was down in Burlington, where North Scott cruised to a 42-0 shutout of the Greyhounds.
We are now joined by 4 members of the North Scott football team. We have Darnell Butler, Hunter Davenport, Patrick Bozick, and Dylan Akers with us. Guys, congratulations on the season at this point. Off to a perfect 6-0 start. And Darnell, we'll start with you. To be 6-0, coming off the season you had, losing the people you had, probably no shock to you that you're 6-0. What's been the best part about this start to the season for you guys?
Yeah, so it's definitely cool being 6-0, coming off that state championship last year, but we kind of knew coming into this year that we needed to get down and get these wins under our belt so we can solidify some, especially later, like right now, that playoff seeding. And we just knew that we had to get down and get that work in. So yeah, it's nice, but we also know we have plenty more work to do next game, next practice. We just got to get that work in.
Hunter, to start the year as one of the top teams in the state in Class 4A, and now I'm the number one team in Class 4A, there was a big target, not only because of that, but because of winning state title. How did you guys handle that I guess, pressure, the expectations during the off season?
Yeah, so, it started in the summer. We've been grinding every day, working as a team, and coaches did a really good job not even bringing up the state championship. We don't even like talking about it because this is a whole new season, a whole new team. We got a lot to build on. So,
Patrick, talk about the mentality of this year's team then, obviously, because like Hunter said, it's a new year, new team. What happened in the past is in the past, but what's the mentality? What's the take on this year's team as you prepare for each game each week?
The big thing that we always talked about before the season was that this team hasn't done anything. Last year was last year, we had a good season, but we got a lot of guys this year, a lot of guys stepping up. Each week we just try to work harder every day, get better, so on Friday night we can go show what we're working towards, and that, we just try to be relentless, as physical, and try to be the best team on Friday night.
Well, Dylan, so far you guys have been the best team on Friday nights to be 6-0 and putting up the numbers offensively and even defensively, holding teams to very few points. What's impressed you most about this group this year?
I think the thing that's impressed us the most is that no matter what's happened, we face some adversity. It's how we're reacting to that adversity and still powering through and winning football games. And I think that's really the most important thing, is not getting deterred when something bad happens and keeping our chins up and just next play.
Darnell, is there a game that you guys have played so far to this point that you're like, all right, this is going to be a tough one, and then at the end you end up winning it and you're like, all right, we won because we were not just necessarily better but more prepared? Is there a game like that this year that you can think of that's like, wow, that was a really good win for us?
Yeah, definitely going to the Xavier game. We played them in the semis last year, and they're always a great competition, always great going against them. Know it's going to be a dogfight to the end. But we went into that game knowing that we got to play harder for longer. We got to be the number one team on top. And they got a good skill set. They got good coaching and everything, but we do too. And our coaches just, I feel as if outcoached them. We have outplayed them that game. And it was nice getting the win on that. We didn't start as well as we wanted to, but overall we got the W, and now we're off to the next ones.
Hunter, I know Coach Tippett has been working towards getting this program to where it's at right now, as far as being a state championship program, and then continuing that success beyond that. Do you feel like this team over the years has gotten better and continues to get better because of that mentality of, hey, we need to hold ourselves at a high standard and play at a high standard every week?
yes, I really do. And coaches make sure we understand that, because we're watching film every day, make sure we're improving every single day at practice. So we want to build a legacy and make sure this thing lasts.
Patrick, as you get ready for the final 3 weeks of the season here, obviously you don't want to let down at this point. So what's the focus for this team as you go into this last third of the season?
We just take it week by week. We look at the team in front of us, for that Friday, and then we prepare as best we possible, work as hard as we can that week to build upon every week as we go down, so that, when playoffs, everything else comes in the future, we're ready for it. So we really just take it one opponent at a time. Don't try to get too ahead of ourselves. Just keep working.
Well, Dylan, obviously this week it is Clinton, and there's a game out there still that you're looking towards, I know, as far as the district matters. But how important is it just to make sure you're focused on Clinton and taking care of business this week before you move on to knowing that big district game is out there?
Yeah, it's definitely really important that we still have our focus there. Like our coach told us, we haven't put together a perfect game yet. We just need to keep working day by day, getting better. Maybe we can just have our best game next week. We're just hoping that every single week we just keep getting better.
All right, I want you all to answer this. What's one thing you do before every game, whether it's each week or whatever? What's the one thing you have to do before every game that you've been playing? Darnell, I'll start with you.
One thing I do is we kind of all go to our lifting facility, the lab, and Coach has got a great setup in there. I kind of just roll out before the game, have my earbuds in, but I always roll out, get the hamstrings and quads and calves loosened up pretty well. So that's one thing I do.
I got to listen to my hype music, put in my AirPods, and just get hyped up. And I'm a superstitious guy, so I got to have like the same socks, everything for the same game. So.
I'm with Hunter on that. We always roll out our big speaker, and I hook up to it. Try to get everybody pumped up, get everybody ready for the game, make sure everybody has what they need.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way.
So, well, guys, congratulations on the start to the season. 6-0, 3 games left of the regular season, and obviously playoffs ahead for you guys in the future. So, good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
It's halftime. Up next, Remembering a Titan, where Colton Quagliano ended up for college baseball and how he's doing at the next level. It's next in our FCA Story of the Week on The Score Sunday. From the Where Are They Now department, we catch up with Kewanee Wethersfield 2021 grad and 3-sport star Colton Quagliano. As Dan Pearson reports in the FCA Story of the Week, Quagliano has narrowed his field of focus to his field of dreams.
I definitely landed in a great place.
The pace is the same, but the focus is singular as Colton Quagliano settles into life at Illinois Central College. Student athlete, baseball player. The IHSAA first-team All-Stater in baseball, football, and basketball loves being in this lineup.
A lot of these guys have chips on their shoulders to get to the next level, and that was one big thing for me, going from having a great high school career to I was hoping to get somewhere bigger things, but baby steps is always the best way. Finding your groundings, finding your your family, your teammates, just to be able to go through the steps and finally hopefully figure out where you're going to end up is always a dream of mine. So it doesn't matter where it takes you, as long as you keep working every single day, you'll get to where you want to go.
Well, the biggest thing with him is just getting him repetitions, working different combinations up the middle, working him being a versatile player to play both middle infield positions, third base, and even outfield if he needs to. That way it gives him more options to move on to the 4-year level. But I definitely think he's a D1 type of kid.
Coach Brett Kelly sees what observers at Wethersfield High School have seen for years.
He's got what we call feel. He knows what he's doing every time out when he goes out onto the field. The other intangibles I see out of him, great leadership. He's a guy who's always picking his teammates up. He's always competing in everything that he does. One of the last guys that we had that really reminded me of that is Mason McCoy, who's in AAA with the Orioles right now.
Quagliano's dreams of taking his abilities to the highest level possible are very much in place here at Illinois Central College. He doesn't have to look far for inspiration. Major League Baseball Hall of Famer Jim Thome has his fingerprints all over this place, his college home.
What he really said, which is really funny, is Coach Parsons back at my high school, he said that in his ball club for the Indians, it's we, not me.
Dreams can come true, honestly. I think dreams come true without not looking too far ahead, but understanding the process.
A year ago, the questions, which school, which sport? He's got that answered. The dream and the drive remains.
A goal of mine always since I was a little kid was to go Division I, so hopefully as I take day by day and I keep working hard like Coach Kelly says, I could finally do that.
And for Colton Quagliano, taking the steps, paying the price is part of the charm of dreaming big. With the FCA Story of the Week, I'm Dan Pearson.
Thanks, Dan. Time for our last break. Up next, honoring a teammate, how Bureau Valley is remembering one of their own this season. It's next on The Score Sunday. Time to vote for this week's Midwest Technical Institute Score Standouts, and we start with Megan Fiorini from Rock Falls. She fires a 1/67 to win the medalist and helps her team win the 1A regional title. And Kelsey Drake from Wilton, the senior with 27 kills, 12 digs, and 3 blocks as the Beavers beat rival West Liberty. Here are the rest of this week's MTI Score standouts. Cormac Flynn from Monmouth United. He has 229 total yards and 6 touchdowns, one of them a kick return for a score. And Gavin Kramer from Northeast. He scores 3 times and accounts for 300 yards in a Rebels win. Vote for this week's Score standouts by following the link on the sports page at WQAD.com or go to Twitter at @TheScoreWQAD to cast your vote. Polls are open until Thursday at noon. It was a difficult summer for the Bureau Valley community as they mourn the loss of 16-year-old Bailey Brewers. But when football season rolled around, the Storm knew they had to honor their classmate and friend. Celia Palermo shows us how.
For the first time in a while,
right there,
the wins are starting to add up for the Bureau Valley Storm.
perfect. Good job, buddy.
Pretty awesome to be working this hard for so long and then it finally showing on the field.
But this season, there's more motivation and more meaning behind every snap. You see, in a town of 350 and a community not much bigger,
pretty much everyone knows everyone around here.
football and family means everything.
Good.
We're all pretty close to each other and try to help one another out.
That much was clear this summer when Bureau Valley team Bailey Brewers
I mean, we always got along. We're boys, so it's not that hard.
passed away in a car accident.
Yeah, it was certainly tough.
The memories hit hard for stepbrother Logan Johnson.
With it being such a close community, though, it was nice to have friends and family around to help with the process.
And for his best friends, too.
Thought it was something that never really could happen to someone like that. I mean, kid with a big heart. It was really hard.
I pretty much broke down in tears. It was hard hearing that.
The boys so badly wanted Bailey to suit up in pads for the Storm this season.
Good.
Every so often I'd be like, hey, you know, come out for football and whatever, but he wasn't. He was rather be in the fields in the fall. That was a big thing.
So instead, the Storm are carrying a piece of Bailey with them through every play.
All the times throughout the huddles, we would be telling each other, hey, let's get this done for Bailey.
The red sticker with Bailey's initials.
One of his good friends came down after the first game and he was like, you know, he was on the field there with you the whole time after we won.
Each touchdown, each win, not just for themselves,
We're definitely playing for Bailey.
but for someone else.
I wish I could just say goodbye one more time. I really do miss him a lot.
For Bailey.
Thank you for being my best friend, Bailey.
In Manly, Celia Palermo, WQAD, News 8 Sports.
Thanks, Celia. That's our show for tonight. We'd like to thank you for watching. We hope to see you back here next week for the Score Sunday.